views aren't worth anything. TikTok has turned us into gambling addicts, endlessly chasing the next viral hit like spins on a slot machine. But here's the truth. It's not about getting views. It's about getting the right views. The right viewers aren't just passive scrollers. They're engaged fans who consistently interact with your content. They help the algorithm find more of your ideal audience faster. And most importantly, they actually want to buy what you're selling. The right views aren't just numbers on a screen. They're dollar signs. Smart brands and creators already know this, and they've turned their accounts into magnets for the right people. But the crazy thing is, most people have no idea how to do this, which is exactly where your opportunity lies. By the end of this video, you will have the skills to attract the right followers to any account, helping you grow and monetize way faster than your competition. To attract the right followers, you need to know exactly who they are inside and out. When you understand your ideal audience at a deep level, you can create content that hooks them immediately because they feel it was made specifically for them. And this doesn't have to be that difficult. To break this down, let's use a real-world example. Strawberry Milk Mob, a multi-million-dollar apparel brand that built its empire entirely through TikTok. They started out just like you, making content for what they were selling instead of who they were selling to. And because of that, they got almost no views, no traction, no sales. But once they cracked the code, they realized that to grow an account, it's not about the product, it's about the people.
Anytime you try to sell something on TikTok, people don't want to see it. Like even myself, I'll block accounts if they're trying to sell me something. It just isn't very sincere, I find, like almost ever. It didn't work when I tried to do it. My TikTok account just kind of stayed quiet for a bit, and then I just started making fun ones with my friends. Couple like on my own. It was totally for my own entertainment. They get like a couple thousand views, that's it. And then all of a sudden, people started to want to hear what I had to say. I was like, okay. When I first started making TikToks for my business, they would be very planned out, like very edited. They would look amazing. No one wants to see that. Like there's so much of that out there. People don't want to be sold something. They don't want to see like all the fakeness. A lot of people comment that it's like their therapy or it gets rid of their anxiety watching my videos. Like it's just very calming.
When they shifted their focus and started making content that resonated with their ideal customer, what they cared about, what they were talking about with their friends, what their dreams were, their fears, and everything in between, they were able to turn their account into a magnet for the right people. They created a place where they just wanted to hang out. And that's the key. And here's the best part. Anyone can do the exact same thing. If you take the time to get into the heads and lives of your ideal audience, you can create content that attracts them like a magnet. The simplest way to do this is by building out your ideal viewer avatar, a hypothetical person that is your ideal viewer and customer. By doing this process, you're going to train your brain to start seeing opportunities to reach these people that you previously would have missed. And to make this as easy as possible, we have made a Google Sheet template and a Notion template that you can access completely free to walk along with me in this video to do this for your page or your brand. For many of you, this is going to be extremely easy because your ideal customer is just you or who you once were. But to show you that anyone can do this regardless of who you're trying to reach, I'm going to go through this exercise as if I was Strawberry Milk Mob, because I'm not a girl. I don't sell bikinis, but I will still be able to do this with a high degree of success. So let's jump in and turn your account into a follower magnet. So this is the template that we've created for you to help you make your ideal audience avatar. I'm going to walk through the Notion template, but we also made a Google Sheets template that has all of the same information for anybody who doesn't use Notion. And there are links down below. You can access this completely free and work along with me through this for your specific situation. So I'm going to change the name of this to Strawberry Milk Mob because that's who we're doing this for. So Strawberry Milk Mob audience avatar worksheet. And the first section of this worksheet is the demographics. And so we're going to figure out what are the specifics on this person. How old are they? What is their sex? Where do they live? The marital status? All of that stuff. All the specific information that goes into shaping how we would just describe this person. And I like to even give them a name. So we're going to call our ideal person Lauren Green. Okay, so that's Lauren Green is going to be the ideal person for Strawberry Milk Mob. We're going to work this person out, who exactly this person is, how they think, what they're thinking about, all of that stuff to shape content that hooks them like crazy. And so I like to do this after I've built this out. I like to come back to this and use an AI tool to create an image of what I think this person would look like so that I'm constantly thinking, looking, and talking about our ideal person. So in this case, Lauren. So I'm going to figure out and go through this and change this. So I think Lauren is a 26-year-old female. She lives in the United States. I don't think she's married. I think she is dating. I think she either she's single right now, but she's actively dating. She lives by herself. She works in HR rep, and her job title is HR executive. I think she probably makes around $70,000 a year, okay? And that's how granular you want to get with this. You really want to figure out who is your ideal person, who is it that you're selling to. I think she has a college education, and any other relevant details, you can add that in here when it comes to her demographics. So this is Lauren Green, in a very broad nutshell. And so you should have an idea of who this person is if you've thought about who you're selling to. If you have no clue and you need some inspiration, go look at the kind of people that are really interacting with the other places online where you know your ideal customer already hangs out. Go find the communities they're in, go look at the Reddit boards they're in, go look at any sort of Facebook groups they're in, if they use Facebook, wherever they would hang out, go see the kind of people. There's gonna be consistent themes. And so Lauren Green is the perfect person for Strawberry Milk Mob. Then the next thing that I like to do is to come into here, and all this is customizable. So we'll give you default information here, but it's all completely changeable. You can make this your own. So I like to go in and really try to think through a thought exercise of, okay, like what is everything about Lauren, right? What makes Lauren Lauren? So I'm going to describe Lauren's life in this to try to shape the future sections of this. So Lauren is on social media often. She is deeply ingrained in social media culture. She loves reality TV, specifically dating shows like Love Island. And where I'm pulling all this from is just basically describing what the other kind of things that are associated with who we're trying to sell to. This stuff's pretty obvious because I know a lot of people that are Strawberry Milk Mom's ideal customer. A lot of them are girls my age, and so I know them. I'm literally just describing them. And so this should be pretty easy to you if you have any idea of who your customers are. But if you don't, just go look at someone who you think is your ideal customer and then start describing what you think they may like, right? So they are on dating apps, but hate the experience. She enjoys being single and independent, but ultimately wants to meet the right guy, but is somewhat discouraged by the state of online dating. So this stuff really matters, right? Because I'm trying to think about what is the person thinking about, how would they describe themselves, how would they describe them in a nutshell of what they do with their time, what they focus on, all of that good stuff. She cares about her job, but isn't in love with it. She went to university because she is an intelligent girl and she was told she should. So she took a degree that she thought would give her a position to help others. Okay. This is shaping how Lauren thinks, the type of things she thinks about. It's also going to make it easier to find other places where they already hang out online. Okay. And so when we gave you a quick example, right? So this was for a completely different hypothetical person. So Gwen is highly motivated professionally, and lives a comfortable life in the country. So this is for a different one we've done. She spends her limited free time taking long walks with her partner and painting. She wants to find more time to travel and invest. You know what I'm saying here? It's loose, broad descriptors about what their day-to-day looks like, the kind of things they're worried about, all that good stuff. We're gonna make this specifically for you. So this is our brief thing with Lauren. I then move on to psychographics, and as I work through this, I'm gonna shape a more well-rounded picture. And after I've done that, I can come back to this loose paragraph, make it far more in-depth, far more thorough, with a lot more detail. So the first place I'm gonna go to is psychographics, because the most important thing to understand when you wanna shape content is that most people are motivated by two things. They either wanna go towards something or they wanna avoid something bad. And so their goals would be what they wanna go towards, and then pains and fears are the things that they want to avoid. And if you look at most content that does really well, they're speaking to one of those two things, either towards pleasure or away from pain. And so if we know what their specific desired pleasures are and what their specific pain points are or fears, we can speak to that. And so if you look at Strawberry Milk Mob and go look through her content, all of these sections we're gonna talk about in the psychographics, she's nailing. And so she didn't probably go through this exercise like you are going to, because she is that person. But I think for a lot of people that aren't natural marketers like she is, having this makes it so much more obvious whenever you go to create content. You're like, oh, obviously. And what this will help you do is shape your ability to study other people's content and break down the why as to why it's working, rather than just what it is. Because it's very easy to look at a video and say, oh, they said this, but why did they say that? And why did it work for who they're trying to speak to? That's what we're trying to get to. So the kind of questions here is, what are their goals, right? So we need to know what drives them and why they want to watch your content. So what is their ultimate goal? So I'm gonna write down what her ultimate goals are. What are the things she is really working towards? So I think she really wants to meet the right guy or girl and start building a life. She wants to progress in her career, but also wants more fulfillment. So you're gonna get themes through doing this. So she wants to meet someone, so that's gonna give us opportunities to talk about the things that she's talking about with her friends, dating, what that's like, what all those experiences are like. Also finding passion within her life. So she has a good job, we've talked about that earlier, but finding more fulfillment in it is a recurring theme that people like her would be wanting to talk about. And so that's why Strawberry Milk Mob's content, where she talks about the aspirational parts of her life, other girls that want similar things will look at that and want to be associated with it because that's what they want as well. So other things that they want is, what what are their goals? Lauren wants more solid and deep friendships in her life. And I think those are her major things. She wants to find her person. She wants more fulfillment in her work. She likes what she does, but she wants to find more fulfillment in it. And she wants further and deeper connections with people that are just like her, with people who are more like her. Okay. These are little things that we're going to add to over time, but these goals of thinking about what Lauren cares about, what her ultimate goals are, means we can basically make content that shows her or gets her closer to that. And then we get rewarded for doing that by trading value to her and building a community around other people looking for the same. It's exactly what Strawberry Milk Mom has done consistently within her content, whether she was aware of it or not. So what stage of the journey are they? So basically, these are the things they want, but now describe their situation as to where they are right now. Okay. So Lauren is on dating apps, but is fatigued. And so if you ever want to learn this stuff, why I'm saying this with confidence is because if you just go to the people who are interacting with her content and you go see the age ranges that they are at, they're like Lauren, and they're typically single and complaining about things associated with being single, or they're dating someone and they're talking about dating a lot, right? This is a point in time in life where meeting your person or whoever you're with currently is a very big focus, because it's a pivotal point of, are you gonna be with them or are you not gonna be with them? And if you're single, that's all that's discussed. Everywhere they go, they're asked, why aren't you with someone? How's dating going? All those things. That's why I'm putting this at the beginning, because I know the point in life where her ideal person for Strawberry Milk Mob is at. Also, by the way, I talk very fast. So if at any point this is too fast for you, if you hit the gear icon in this video, you can slow it down to whatever speed makes sense for you. I speak quickly because I want to deliver as much information as possible. So what else are they at? She has had a promotion since graduating, but currently feels stuck professionally. And so if you ever need some prompting as to where you can go with these things, the major things that people worry about is health, wealth, relationships, right? And so those are the things that we want to be talking about all the time when it comes to these answers for the goals, the fears, etc. Human beings, really, that's what that comes down to, is health, wealth, relationships, and then the little nuances within that, right? So within health, there's mental health, there's physical health, right? And then even then there's subcategories, but those are the top. And then you go down deeper and deeper and deeper, and you can get more specific that you do this. But I'm trying to keep this top level for the sake of this video. You should not. You should go as deep with this as you possibly can and build on this over time. This is just showing you how this works. And I want you to be thinking, like planting seeds here and seeing where you could make videos. And also, after you do this, go look at Strawberry Milk Mob and look at this that I've done and what you've done on yours, and start noticing how she's using these things to connect with her ideal customer. It's insane how powerful this stuff really is when you hook them, because you've taken the time to think about what they're thinking about. So I think she feels stuck professionally. She dreams of starting her own thing, but is too scared to do so because her family is very traditional. That's also really important to know, because if you look at Strawberry Milk Mob's brands, a lot of it is it's communicative, it's connection based, but it's also largely aspirational, right? They look at the founder as something that they wish they could do, right? They wish they could have her life. They wish they could take the plunge. And so speaking to that in a relatable way gives you really a lot of power to make some awesome content that they're going to resonate with. So relationships, we've talked about that. Health, let's say Lauren is active consistently, but wants more of a community aspect to her health and fitness. That's a common thing I see for girls this age, is that they're fit, they love fitness, but they lack a sense of community with doing it. So that's something that I'm going to put in here. And let's think about health, wealth, relationships. That's all covered from a top level perspective. The next thing that we want to look at is, are they looking to take specific action from your content or simply to be inspired, right? And so this affects the choices of language that you use. And so this is more of like, are you creating a sense of community with a post, or are you trying to be an authoritative figure saying, do this, or this is what I did, you should do this, or try this, whatever, right? And so you're going to see that she focuses more on not necessarily being inspired, but by being connected. And if you Strawberry Milk Mom, most of her content is about connection. And that's because she understands her audience. Most women are inspired by connection. They really thrive on relationships. They thrive on the deep level of connection around the things that they care about. They don't ever tire. I grew up with women. I'm around women all the time. They never tire about talking the things that they like talking about, and a lot of them are relationship based. Guys don't talk as much, I would say, but they can definitely talk about the things that they love, whereas girls can talk about everything because they love a lot. There's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of feeling. Women are amazing, and they love this stuff. And so if you know this stuff, you can speak to it as well and give them an opportunity to keep talking because they want to. So Are they looking to take specific action? I think she would want to take action, but first she wants to feel connected. I think first she wants to feel empowered, and first she wants to see that someone has done it, so it's not as risky. That's what I think Lauren wants from the content that I can deliver. So Lauren wants to feel connected to the content and products she consumes. She wants to know that who she watches aligns with her values. She is fairly comfortable in her life. So while there is a desire for more or for change, she doesn't want to be preached at. She wants to feel seen, heard, and supported to eventually take the jump. Okay. And so this is helpful because even understanding of how Lauren is going to be thinking, even if I do take the role of an authoritative figure where I'm being inspirational, if I know that this is how she's currently thinking, I know not to be super preachy, right? I know to go to a place where she thinks and approach it in a way where she's gonna be a lot more receptive to the information. A lot of people that are trying to be the authoritative or the inspirational type creator or brand, they fail to think about how their person wants to be spoken to. And that is a huge flaw, right? Because a lot of people, they'll try to like talk right at someone. For a lot of people, that doesn't resonate. And so if you don't realize how they wanna be talked to, you're missing out on a massive opportunity to actually deliver the message, have it be received, heard, and put into action. And it's not gonna be effective unless you do this and think about this. So that's why it's really important. This is shaping the logic, the language, and the approach to content and the role that you take within that content. Because ultimately you are a character in any video that you create, you or your brand. You're a character, but really the character is the person on the other side of the screen. People love watching things and they connect with things that they can see themselves in, or someone they know or someone they love. That's where they truly connect with you. And so you have to think about, what do they like, right? Think about your favorite characters in movies or TV shows. It's usually either who you see the most of yourself in or someone else that you really look up to and admire. That happens all the time. And until you think about this critically, you fail to see this and you don't realize that this is happening to you all the time in marketing and in media all the time. So when you become aware of this stuff and do it consciously and use it for you, you can grow. You can grow your brand. You can connect the right people. All that stuff. Now let's move to pain and fears. I'm gonna try to keep this super surface level because I think you're getting the point. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments and I will reply to as many of them as I can to go deeper into this because it does really matter. So pains and fears. This is a huge thing, and why this is so important is because I mentioned there's two things that drive humans. It's to get closer or to acquire pleasure or to avoid pain. Human beings are more motivated by the fear of loss than they are the potential of gain. And so unfortunately, the reason why you see so much rage bait and so many negative things on social media is because we as humans are more responsive to it. And so you need to understand specifically what the pains and fears are of your ideal person, because that's gonna capture their attention more than anything else, even more than their dreams. Unfortunately, it's the truth. And so if you can find out what these things are, present it in a way that you know they'll resonate with, that's the ticket, okay? That is how you are going to grow. And so it's obviously a balance of all these things, but knowing this stuff gives you the power to use it. So what are the current pain points for Lauren? And why does this matter? You need to be able to call these out during the hook so they feel like you understand them. Like I said, this makes them more willing to spend time watching your video. They feel heard, they feel like someone cares, they feel like someone understands their situation. So what are current pains of hers? Lauren fears she will never meet the right person. She is tired of being the third wheel with her couple friends. And this is one-off person. I could easily go through and do an avatar for Strawberry Milk Mob of someone who's in a relationship. And all that would change is just simply the philosophy and the approach to it. But this is just the exercise that we're gonna go through. I'm gonna pick one person because once you get good at this, there's probably two or three that make sense for Strawberry Milk Mob. There's probably Lauren, who's the single person. There's Stacy, who's the person in a relationship, and they're only slightly different, and that would shift who you talk to when, right? So I'm gonna continue with Lauren, with her couple friends, with her friends in relationships. She feels comfortable in her job, but is worried it will be the same thing forever, which leaves her feeling unfulfilled and asking What's the point? That's relationships, that's wealth. And now for health, the points I'm gonna talk about here is what are her pain points is she works hard to stay fit. But at this point in her life, at 25, 26, you start thinking about potentially having children, right? And so that's one thing she's worried about. She's worried about not getting older, right? It's a fear that people have, whether it's rational or not. She works hard to stay fit, but is worried that she may be in this period of her life too long, where she may lose the opportunity to build the family she wants, okay? So she has so much time, but these are just the things that go through these people's heads. And so everybody has fears, and most fears are irrational. That's the entire point, right? So as I'm saying that, I'm aware that that is irrational, that because she has so much time, she has so much opportunity to meet someone if that's what she wants. But this is the kind of things that are going on in their head, right? And so if you think about yourself, there are so many fears that you have that are probably ridiculously irrational. And if you said them out loud or you said it to someone else, they'd be like, that's crazy, right? And I have them too, right? Like I'll say these things and I'll say it to people that I really care about, and they're like, how do you have that fear? I would have never guessed that. That is the nature of being a human. That is the nature of having fears. And so if we understand what their pain points are, what are they currently experiencing, all that good stuff is huge. And so these are really their pain points that they're currently experiencing. A lot of this should have gone right here. So what are they afraid of? So that actually makes more sense down here for health. Okay. So we'll move that. These are her pain points. So her job is that. So I guess that makes more sense down here as well too. Let me move this. This is an ongoing practice too, guys. So you don't have to get it right the first time. This is going to be a thing that we're going to work on over time, but you want to invest the time to get this right. So Lauren feels so she'll never meet. So that I put all this in the wrong section. So health, wealth, relationships in the wrong section. Okay. So now here I should have talked about specific pain points, right? So this is the why, here is the what. So here, dating apps suck, hookup culture sucks, social media constantly reminds us what we don't have in terms of relationships, wealth, and health / appearance. Okay, so these are the what, right? So these are the specific pain points. And so knowing both is really important. So it's like, here's the mechanism. So these could be the opening hook as to, dating apps suck, but the why behind it matters as well, right? So why do they care, or why do they feel like they suck? This is a specific what, here is the why, okay? And so then this point's really helpful as well. So now that we understand what their fears are, and go far deeper in all of this, please. Go really, really deep. Ask yourself, like the 7 layers of why is one of my favorite thought exercises. When you come do something and you say something, ask yourself why, and then challenge that 7 more times. Why? Then you typically get a fair understanding as to what's truly going on here. I do it all the time. Strongly recommend it. So now that we know what their pains and fears are, right? What are the objections that they might have in terms of trying to solve them, right? So if you make content to try to solve or speak to these points or whatever it may be, what are some of the pain points that they may have, right? Or what are their objections that they're going to say? This is really important to know because you can basically speak to that within the content, which gives you a huge advantage to retain that person, because people are always asking what's the catch, or assuming that you have something that they don't. People like to play victim. And so if you don't give them that opportunity, or you speak to what they feel like is what's their reason why they can't, and you speak to that head on, they're gonna be far more receptive to actually listen. And so one person who did this beautifully in a completely different niche is Naval Ravikant. Okay, so he is a philosopher and a venture capitalist, and he created one of the most viral Twitter threads of all time. And it was how to get rich without being lucky. And that's so brilliant because he understood his people. He knew that the people he was trying to reach wanted to get rich, but he knew their biggest objection would be that they weren't born lucky. So whatever her fears and pain points are, you want to speak to what the reasons why they wouldn't find success or be able to change their outcome, and know that specifically. So for Lauren, she feels like other people on the dating apps get picked over her. She feels like the nice guys all got picked up in university. We're keeping this loose. If you want examples on specifics, go find videos that these people are watching from creators that make lifestyle content, and you're gonna see the things that resonate with people because they're gonna have a lot of views, they're gonna have a lot of likes, they're gonna have a lot of comments. Go into the comments, see the discussions that are taking place, see the experiences that people are sharing. People are absurdly open. And so when you're doing this exercise, I strongly recommend doing it with your phone and figuring out where these people are hanging out, what they're talking about, and try to use the language that they're using. Because the more that we can speak like them and think like them, our content is going to slap. So what objections would she have for solving her pains and fears? She feels like it's too late to start a business or too risky because everything has already been done and it's too late to grow online. So are you seeing how I can talk about this in my content? Because if I know what they're going to say right next, right? So let's say I pitch a thing like, let's say I'm talking about dating apps, for example, and you say, oh, dating apps suck. And then if they think, oh, this girl, let's say I'm a pretty girl, okay? And I'm saying, oh, dating apps don't have to suck. The first place their mind's gonna go to when Lauren watches these videos, of course, it's easy for you to say because you're so pretty. So if you speak to that objection right away, just like Naval did, saying how to get rich, that's the desired outcome. And then boom, bust the initial objection without being lucky. So for this, it might be like how to get dating apps to work for you, even if you're not a 10 out of 10, like something like that. Speaking to that gives you a cheat code because you're gonna be able to grab their attention because the hooks matter so much, and you're gonna be able to speak the language and know what they're thinking before they think it, so they're going to listen. So I'll keep it at that just for the sake of moving on with this video, but go far deeper with all of this. I want you spending hours on this if you want this to be successful. So now let's move on to motivators. So what motivates them to do what they do? What are the kind of things that motivate them? So I'm gonna say Lauren is motivated by family. She loves her dog, her friends, and wants to build a great life for herself. Go far more in depth with this. I'm moving this along for the sake of this video. What do they love doing? Lauren loves fitness classes, hiking, running / run clubs, coffee, reality TV, and podcasts. This stuff's all really important to know because you can go figure out what of each of these things are they using, right? Like what podcasts are Lauren, the type of people Lauren are listening to? What kind of coffee products are they buying? What kind of reality TV shows are they buying? What references can you work into your content? That's the value and the importance of all these. So I'll stop this here. But if you want to add any more sections to any of this, this is all completely customizable, okay? So you can just click this, get another one, you can click this to make it wider, do whatever you want, okay? This is completely customizable and go far more in depth here. But the real reason behind what motivates them to do what they do is because you want to be thinking about, okay, no, we figured out what they want, but why do they want it? What motivates them? What is the reason for their desires? If you can figure that out, you can really capture a lot of attention. So again, 7 layers of why. Next is belief and values. So what are their beliefs? What kind of beliefs do they hold in their head? What do they believe politically? What do they believe in terms of their ethics? What do they believe in terms of their morals? What do they believe as a person? Your beliefs shape who you believe that you are, right? And so you want to figure out, what does Lauren believe in? What does she care about? What are the values what are the beliefs that she holds within her head about the world, about herself, and about opportunities? We want to know all these things. Then what are their values? So what are the things she really values? What are the things she cares about? What are the qualities of herself that she holds in high regard? What are her values? Straight up, get specific here. She values being honest, go really deep here. She values honesty, she values working hard, she values friendship, all those things. Figuring out what their values are helps us in shaping content. The next thing, these are a huge section because this could be huge for really capturing a big group's attention. So who are their enemies? So when you think about Lauren and the kind of person that Lauren is, who does she hate? Like, what are the people that she really doesn't like? What are the groups she really doesn't like? This could be politically or otherwise, the products she doesn't like, etc. Knowing who they dislike is actually really important. So who is on their hate list or their dislike list? And just as important, we want to know who they love. Who do they really, really care for? Who do they love? If I had to guess without going too deep into it, I'd guess that she's a Swiftie. You get what I'm saying? We want to figure out who their heroes are. Next, we want to move on to Lauren's behavior. So where do they hang out online? This is incredibly crucial. So what apps are they using? What accounts are they following on those apps? What are they watching? Who has influence on them? And where do they hang out? Where do they find their sense of community? We want to figure out all of these things and have this all written here. So platform, followers, what is influencing them? Why do they care about it? All those things. Where do they hang out online? Where is their time spent? Where do they find their sense of community? And what do they consume online? Where do they do it? What are they consuming? What do they do in their spare time? We talked about this a little bit earlier, but you can go either for far more into specifics as to what hobbies they have, what they're doing, and then also what's on their mind right now. So like in terms of behaviors, what are they thinking about? What do they want to change? So like when they wake up, when they go to bed, when they eat their lunch, etc. What's their daily routine looking like? We want to get that specific, okay? Now for some competitor research here, I want you to come in and find some accounts that have a strong sense of community, make sure that they have good engagement, and keep an eye on what social media platforms are suggesting to you and who gets a lot on the homepage impressions, because that's going to tell you a lot. If a page is getting a ton of consistent traffic, it means it's being shown on people's homepages or For You pages. So that's really important. And we want to come in and find those accounts, put them into here, find their information and where they have most of their audience. And you want to prioritize accounts that are active and doing well on the account on the platforms where you feel your audience is already hanging out. And as you spot these accounts, you want to look for patterns within their content. What's allowing them to pull consistent viewership, build that community, and have people coming back. So you want to see consistent results, and you also want to make sure that it's happening recently, because things change so quickly on social media. If they pulled a ton of views on something years ago, I don't care about it. It doesn't help you in any way, shape, or form. So context really matters. It should be relatively recent, and they should still be pulling these views because things change so quickly. Trends die so fast, and creators go out of style really fast. So you want to stay on the pulse with the latest things. So look for topics they're talking about, look for successful formats, look for patterns here. That's really going to help you. And you want to fill those in within the pattern section of this sheet. And so this is going to be with inside your niche, and then also patterns from outside of your niche. So as you are studying content, which you should now become a student of content, look for things in general that you really see working on social media. If you consistently see a hook that's being used, if you see a style, a format, anything, dump it all here for inspiration that you could potentially work it in a way that's specific to you and specific to your ideal follower, Lauren, and talk to them exactly how they want to be talked to using proven formats and themes that you're seeing working across social media, okay? And the next section of this is to analyze your own account. So this is pretty straightforward. So go through your own account if you posted content yet. If you haven't, maybe do this in 3 months and look at what good looks like for you. I think a lot of people, they fail on social media because they don't even know what success looks like. And so if you get a benchmark as to what success looks like for you, you can then see if something is working or if it's not. And also work from what your goal actually is. If you sell a super specific niche service and it's very expensive, don't expect your posts to go mega viral. It's just not likely to happen. So use some common sense and some nuance here. It's gonna help you out a lot, but having a benchmark is gonna give you a ton of information to really set goals for yourself. And I want you to come in and look at these every 3 months. So every quarter, come in and see what your new benchmark looks like. Has the trend gone down or up? What changes did you make over that time? And what should we tweak to try to get these numbers going up towards the goal that we have for ourselves? Okay. And then practice. So here you're going to come in and put in your content ideas. What I want you to do is just have this as a dump. So anytime you have an idea for a content, have a place for it, make this a widget on your phone and come in and add any idea you have. It's incredibly important to have a place to dump ideas. If you don't want to use this, use the Notes app on your phone. So whenever you have an idea, have a place to put it so it doesn't get lost. And as you build out themes, content topics, maybe series that you're doing, it also really helps to understand where an idea fits within the kind of content that you're creating. So if you want to make this more sophisticated, that's what you would do. Say if you make this kind of content and this kind of content and this kind of content, whether that be a theme, a content pillar, whatever, you can categorize your ideas based on that. It's going to help you bring them to life a lot more. And then you want to make sure to actually turn these ideas into content, because it's very easy to have a massive catalog of ideas, feel like you're being productive, but until they're brought into the world, they're not helping you. So move quickly on actually turning these ideas into reality, because if you have a great idea, I believe this wholeheartedly, someone else has it too, and whoever gets it out first gets the rewards. So make that you. I sprinted through this thing. I want you to take a lot more time and listen to all the notes that I gave throughout this and the little tips, because that's what's going to allow you to go far deeper and constantly be thinking about how this is going to shape future content. This whole strategy, this whole activity is shaping your mind to start seeing opportunities you previously didn't see, and also helping you in shaping an idea that you might have and figuring out how you can format that idea the right way to actually reach the people that you want to reach. So many people have amazing ideas, but they don't know how to form that idea quickly for the right people. That is the ticket to growing quickly on social media. And this is going to train your brain to do that because you know exactly who you're trying to speak to. So start this whole exercise. Take way more time than I did. I tried to sprint through this, even though this video is long. It's how long this stuff really takes, but you only have to do it the right way once. Spend a few hours on this, get it right the first time, and then allow this to shape your content. Come back later after you've gotten this right to make it better and also potentially add more avatars, but start with one and really go deep here. Both templates are linked down below and they are completely free, and this stuff matters so much. If you really want the success that you say that you want online, this is the difference between success and failure. The accounts that grow, they've either done this work or they are naturally skilled marketers and communicators, and they do this stuff without having to think about it. Most people don't fall into that category. And so you can make yourself that by simply doing this, and now you can do it easily for free, either in Notion or Google Sheets. The choice is yours. We've created both and made them completely free for you. They are linked down below. The only thing that I ask for you in return is to subscribe to this channel. I make weekly content here for you to help you grow your brand and grow your business using social media. I'm a nerd for this stuff, as you probably just saw over the last half hour. I want to help you do your thing and reach the right people. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I know that so many people struggle with Instagram specifically, but for growing a business, it is the most slept on platform 100%. And in the video we just popped up on your screen, I give you some amazing tips for growing a small or a new Instagram account quickly. So go ahead and watch that if you're looking to grow on Instagram, and I'll see you over there. Have a good one. Peace.